All right, here's my audience. Okay. The Italian word for dog is cane, and the Roman word for protector is Corso. Put those two words together, and you have a 100+ pound dog of pure muscle and loyalty called the Cane Corso. I have the pleasure of owning one of these dogs, and all I can say is they are amazing. And today I'd like to take some time to tell you all about them. First, we're going to go over the basics of the breed. Next, we're going to talk about the breed's history. Then we're going to get into some potential health issues associated with Cane Corsos. And lastly, we're going to go over the guarding instincts that these dogs are known for. So let's get right into the basics. This dog is obviously a large dog breed. As you can see, it's a big guy. They can weigh between 90 and 120 pounds, but some on the bigger side can weigh as much as 175 pounds. Their colors can vary. They could be tan, gray, black, red, brindle, and all types of different shades of brindle. The cost varies a lot as well. It just depends on the breeder you go to. They could cost $1,000, but they could also cost $5,000. It really just depends. And although I wish the breed could live forever, their lifespan is about 9 to 12 years. And now that you know the basics, let's get into the history of the breed. This breed's history dates back to ancient Rome. According to American Kennel Club, this dog fought alongside Roman soldiers over 1,000 years ago, and they used them on the battlefield and as well as on farms. And just whenever strength was needed, they used Cane Corsos. And here I actually have a picture of a statue of a Cane Corso from 640 BC. Now it's time, let's talk about the health issues associated with the breed. It's never fun talking about health issues, but it's important we do that because if you spot these issues early on and you get them addressed, it can really help them later in life. According to PETA, Cane Corsos are prone to crippling hip dysplasia. And what that means is that the hips don't align properly with the joint, causing to lots of complications, and it could be very painful for your dog. But luckily there is a surgery that the dog could get, and it would kind of mitigate a lot of those pains that they'll go through. Cane Corsos are also known to get bloat, which is a stomach condition that can be life-threatening. This is when the dogs run around or just do any exercise right after they eat or drink a lot of water, and this can cause their stomachs to kind of roll over on themselves. It twists, and then they just get bloated with nowhere for that gas to go. That's why it's important that the dogs never play after they eat, and that they eat nice and slow. That's why for my dog I use, it's called a slow feeder. This is where you pour the kibble in there rather than a big bowl where they just could eat as fast as they can. My dog has to take time to eat kibble out of the little pockets. Other potential health issues are more so along the lines of improper breeding practices. Some breeders will purposely breed Cane Corsos to have really pushed in snouts or droopy faces, and the droopy face could really affect their vision, and the pushed in snouts really hurts their breathing. So those are two really big issues we see. It's important to just go to an ethical breeder that's informed on the right practices, and that way you don't really have to deal with those issues. Now let's get into what this breed is known for, the guarding abilities. This dog is the prototypical guard dog. The Cane Corso has a bite force of 700 psi. That's actually more than a lion, so you're not really going to want to be on the other side of one of these dogs' bites. It's in their blood to serve and protect their family and to protect property. If you look on the news stories, there's tons and tons of just Cane Corsos protecting their families from burglars or intruders. And they make a great dog for wives, kids, the whole family, just to keep them safe. I'd like to wrap up just by going over some of what we talked about today. Um, Today we talked about, first we talked about the basics of the breed, then we talked about the history, we then went into the potential health issues associated with Cane Corsos, and lastly we talked about the guarding abilities that the dog is known for. Again, this is a dog I absolutely love. Owning my Cane Corso has made me a better person. They have changed my life, so I want you to walk away from this thinking heavily about maybe the next time you get a dog, would you ask yourself, would you like to own a Cane Corso? Thank you.